More changes for drivers on the I-5 and State Route 16 interchange.
Tacoma is celebrating 3 causes in May.
And neighborhood councils are an important community resource.
All that and more coming up next on Tacoma Report. Hello, I'm Laura Proctor.
And I'm Angie Foster. Welcome to this edition of Tacoma Report. The city established a young adult overnight shelter in Tacoma in 2015, the first shelter dedicated to serving people ages 18 to 24 experiencing homelessness in Tacoma in more than 30 years. The shelter, which has been operating at the Beacon Center, offers clients access to services as well as access to resources during youth and young adult drop-in hours. The city's approach to addressing youth and young adult homelessness is holistic and focuses on both providing shelter as well as meeting basic needs. It also provides mental health and wellness resources and educational and vocational means and shelter. Learn more at the city's website.
Tacoma commuters will be navigating another temporary closure as part of the Washington State Department of Transportation's I-5 State Route 16 Realignment and Connections HOV project. Now through early June, the South Sprague Avenue on-ramp to southbound I-5 is closed for construction. Officials suggest exiting westbound State Route 16 onto South Union Avenue for city access or reroute back on to eastbound State Route 16 for access to I-5. For up-to-date construction information, check out their website. Do you have an idea that can help prevent stormwater pollution? If so, apply for a reimbursable Make a Splash grant. Applications are open to residents, nonprofits, businesses, or anyone interested in improving stormwater quality in Tacoma.
Environmental Services provides up to $4,000 per grant for programs or projects that have a strong stormwater message, have a stormwater benefit, and can be educational in nature. Some examples of previous projects include building rain gardens, and also we've had some great educational programs funded in schools and nature centers.
Tie-ins with the Puget Sound Starts Here campaign are encouraged. Applicants can check out their website to see how their project might align with the listed activities.
If you're interested in applying, think about ways that you and your community can help Tacoma's lakes, rivers, streams, and ultimately Puget Sound. Projects that we would like to see funded are things that have a great stormwater impact by reducing flows and removing pollutants. Try to partner with multiple agencies and groups to help stretch the grant money and help with projects you might think about being funded.
Projects may be completed in the classroom, in the community, or at a business. Don't delay. Applications will be accepted May 1st through the 31st. For more details, visit the Make a Splash page on the city's site.
The city is teaming up with a number of organizations from across the region to celebrate Puget Sound Starts Here Month. A full calendar of events offers activities to help residents experience the benefits of living in the Puget Sound area. From natural yard care tips to fixing car leaks, participants can learn how even small changes can make a big difference. Visit the Puget Sound Starts Here website to learn more. And May is National Historic Preservation Month.
After the break, we'll be joined in studio by a representative of the Historic Preservation Office to talk about some special events being planned. Don't miss it. This May, the community can join the city and local partners to celebrate Historic Preservation Month. With me today is Historic Preservation intern Deidre Patterson to talk about a month-long calendar of exciting events. Hi, Deidre. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Deidre, can you tell our viewers what is Historic Preservation Month?
Yeah, so each month, the National Trust for Historic Preservation encourages local communities to celebrate their heritage and historic sites through a month long of planned events through, their municipality. This year, the theme for Tacoma is Broadening Horizons, and we've got a month long celebration of events that are encouraging the residents here to engage in their city's history.
Very nice. And so, Deidre, could you tell us about the events that are happening here in Tacoma?
Yeah, so we've got a month long of really fun and exciting events. We're going to be kicking off the month with a walking tour of Hilltop in partnership with Pretty Gritty Tours. So it's going to start at the Johnson Candy Company, and it's going to go all through Hilltop, and it's going to end at the Municipal Building, and it's going to also tie into our City Council proclamation. We are also partnered with Fort Nisqually. We're going to be running 2 separate weekends of escape rooms that are planned by Fort Nisqually. We've also partnered with Pretty Gritty Tours again to do a bike tour of Northeast Tacoma. We've got a youth art event planned. We've also got our inaugural Historic Preservation Awards as well to highlight different individuals, businesses, and projects that we feel have promoted the historical resources we have here in Tacoma.
Nice, how exciting. So what's new in 2019?
One thing that I'm really excited about this year, each year, of course, we do our Historic Preservation Awards. This year, we're going to be holding it at Courthouse Square. And as a part of the event, we're going to be welcoming Danica Miller. She's a professor from UW Tacoma, and she specializes in Native American studies. And she's going to be giving us a keynote speech on the historic Bolt decision that happened in that same courtroom before we start our Historic Preservation Awards. And we're also going to be giving a tour of Courthouse Square. So that's something that I'm really excited and looking forward to seeing.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So now, Deidre, could you talk about the month's themes of Broadening Horizons?
So our theme this year of Broadening Horizons seeks to highlight the rich and diverse history here in Tacoma. For example, Tacoma has always had a rich history of different immigrant communities, some of which still have organizations that still exist, like Normanna Hall, the Slavonian Hall, and the Tacoma Buddhist Temple. So we wanted to be sure that with this year's theme that we wanted to highlight that diverse history and engage our residents here to learn more about those communities and how they are still important in today's landscape.
Wow, that is very interesting. Thank you, Deidre, so much for sharing with our viewers all of the events that are coming up and the exciting things that are going to be happening this month. So we appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
And we hope you come back again.
Thanks.
All right. Next, we'll find out more about another May celebration, Bike Month. Stay with us.
In its 12th year, Bike Month is back to raise awareness of local bicycling resources. The celebration takes place in May, and participants in Tacoma and Pierce County will once again enjoy a wide variety of bicycle-related activities and events. The month kicks off with Bike Swap, one of the largest events of its kind in the South Sound. The event takes place on Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the University of Puget Sound. Participants will find vendors selling new and used bikes, gear, and accessories. To learn more about the Bike Swap event and Bike Month programming, visit the city's site.
Whether you bike, walk, or drive, Metro Park Spray Grounds are officially open on weekends from May 4th through May 19th, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Then daily from May 25th through September 2nd from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. All Metro Park Spray Grounds are free. For detailed information, go to the Metro Parks webpage. The Tacoma Farmers Market season is kicking off with the Broadway Market opening on Thursday, May 2nd, followed by the East Side and Point Ruston markets in June. These local open-air marketplaces showcase farm-fresh produce and artisan items. Some markets also offer a wide selection of hot food vendors, children's activities, gardening advice, and more. To see the full 2019 Tacoma Farmers Market schedule, visit their website.
The demand is high at local area food banks, and officials aren't expecting that need to decline anytime soon. Lane Fickey takes a look at how local agencies are trying to help ease the situation.
Thousands of families are relying on food banks each month to help them make ends meet. Food bank visits are up 80% from 2008. The largest increase is seen with elderly clients and families with children. In years past, food bank visits jumped up significantly when the weather turned bad, but that's not the case anymore.
The need is pretty consistent throughout the year. In the summer now, we have lots of families who come more often because their kids are home from school and those breakfasts and lunches that they rely on during the school year aren't there. What we do find is throughout the year, the numbers increase as the month goes on, as people go through their own resources and need to turn to us and to other food banks.
That increased need means that food banks could use more help, and there are a lot of different things that volunteers can do.
Every year we use over 700 volunteers to help us distribute food at 17 sites all throughout Pierce County. Volunteers do everything from running shifts to distribute the food to clients who need it, stocking shelves, sorting food product. There's not one job that a volunteer can't do here. If you want to help your neighbor in need and distribute food, you're welcome. If you'd rather just go do a grocery store pickup for us, you're welcome. If you really like cleaning, you're welcome to help us with that too.
If you're looking to donate items, food banks are always in need of peanut butter, a great source of protein.
Throughout the summer and early fall, they get lots of produce, but anything that's non-perishable we like, and there's no amount that's too small. Whether you're donating a couple of heads of lettuce from your garden or a couple of cans of food, we add it.
Officials hope that one day there won't be a need for food banks. But until then, agencies in the Tacoma-Pierce County area will continue to provide this valuable service. For Tacoma Report, I'm Lane Fickey.
To find a complete list of food banks in the area, visit the Pierce County website.
As you clean out your storage and find treasures you are ready to part with, there are some rules people should know before hosting a garage sale.
A lot of people are unaware that there is a code for garage sales. The code basically states that you can have up to 2 garage sales per calendar year, up to 3 consecutive days. And there is hours allowed for garage sales, which would be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's important because, one, the city would like to offer a way for people to sell their unwanted items. But again, we don't want a number of continuous garage sales to go on throughout the year and bring a nuisance to the neighborhood.
The city wants residents to host successful events for them and their neighbors. It's also important for people to know that signs cannot be attached to utility poles or street signs for any amount of time. For more information, call 311. When we return from the break, we'll learn how Tacoma Power checks for safety.
And there's a great way for you to sit down and talk with the mayor. Stay with us. Tacoma Power's top priority in providing the power service you depend on daily is to keep its customers and employees safe. Utility workers receive constant training and daily safety briefings. John Phillips shows an example of how some of the tools of their trade are also meticulously tested to ensure safety.
My very first day on the job, I was scrubbing rubber blankets. 30 years later, I am still scrubbing rubber blankets.
Like other wire electricians, the in-between years for Ken Sevier were filled with work in the field and at substations. Now back in the shops, he helps ensure the tools used by electricians are safe.
I deal with the rubber materials. I have to check for the integrity of the rubber so that it's safe to use.
Rubber blankets,
this one passes,
mechanical jumpers, and lots of gloves.
And if I can burn a hole through them, they're not safe to use.
Electricity always seeks the path of least resistance, even if it's through a person working around it. Rubber barriers help reduce chances of a devastating electrocution.
Well, we test about 600 pairs of gloves every 3 months.
Everyone who works around high voltages has sets of gloves assigned to them. Even employees of Tacoma Water and fleet mechanics who now service hybrid electric vehicles bring their gloves here for testing. If there's a leak or a tiny flaw, chances are good it'll be found in this lab.
That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for, little stuff.
Gloves filled with water and a sensor are dunked into a testing tank while exposed to up to 20,000 volts. Once passed, they're cleaned, date stamped, and scheduled for retesting after 3 months of use in accordance with state law.
And that's my job. I test rubber goods and things, but my job is safety. I make sure everybody goes home in the same condition they come to work.
We have over 1,000 sticks in the inventory, well over 1,000 sticks. So
Jodine Scarr is in charge of testing hot sticks, the fiberglass poles electricians use to move and attach power lines and transformers.
And then I also do grounds and Mac jumpers also, which are hot jumpers. So yeah, I have lots of inventory to keep track of.
As with gloves, making sure there are no flaws is critical. A visual inspection of the stick is followed by a high voltage jolt.
Well, it simulates working out in the field under hot conditions, and we also wet the sticks down to simulate working in the rain too. You want to simulate the worst conditions that you might encounter.
Arcing means a damaged pole and danger. It gets taken out of service for repairs or disposal. At Tacoma Power, safety is priority one. For the crew here, rigorous testing and tracking of these safety tools is also taken very seriously.
I want to do a good job so that, you know, all my brothers and sisters go home at the end of the day. That's important to me.
For Tacoma Report, I'm John Phillips.
To learn more about Tacoma Power, visit them online.
The city's Planning Commission is holding 2 public hearings for the 2019 amendment process. The hearings are scheduled on Wednesday, May 1st and Wednesday, May 15th. Both hearings will start at 6 p.m. and will be held in the Tacoma Municipal Building Council chambers. Starting at 5 p.m. before each hearing, the city's planning staff will also conduct informational meetings for community members to learn about proposed changes. For more information and to review the proposed amendments, visit the city's site.
Tacoma Mayor Victoria Woodards kicked off her new Coffee with the Mayor event series in support of the city's ongoing efforts to engage and connect with community members. The events will take place every month and have been scheduled through the end of the year. Events are scheduled in each council district and offered at a variety of different days and times to allow for more participation. For the latest updates, visit the city's webpage or the city's official social media channels.
The Neighborhood Council program was started in 1992 and provides for community members to participate in making the place they live or work better.
So the Neighborhood Council program is a program that was started over 25 years ago to give the residents of Tacoma another opportunity to engage with government and speak to their elected officials about policies that matter to them. The neighborhood councils are supported functions of the city, and they have resources to help guide those resources to what the community finds important, whether that's new sidewalks, new parks, some art in the neighborhood, some events for your community. It's a good way to get that support from the city to support the things you love in your neighborhood.
Anyone who lives or works in Tacoma is eligible to attend and participate with their local neighborhood council. To learn more, visit them online.
And finally, the city's Community and Economic Development Department recently hosted a Small Business Service Provider Summit. The goals of the summit were to strengthen relationships between the city and organizations serving entrepreneurs and small businesses. It also hopes to foster better coordination among business service providers, update the inventory of available resources to entrepreneurs and small businesses, and identify gaps in business resources available in Tacoma. For more information and resources for small businesses, and in fact, for businesses of all sizes, please visit the Make It Tacoma website. That's all the time we have on this edition of Tacoma Report.
A great way to find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer is by going to cityoftacoma.org. Until next time, I'm Laura Proctor.
And I'm Angie Foster. Thanks for watching.